He joins us now, sharing her story. Natanya, thank you so much for being with us. I can't imagine what you've been through since 1999, and then all the emotions that must be coming up over the last couple of days.
I can tell you that immediately, the moment she opened her mouth, you could see that Combs was listening intently to everything that she had to say, as well as those jurors.
After Jennifer Lopez was dragged into the Diddy lawsuit over allegedly being the gun mule in a 1999 nightclub shooting where Diddy and J-Lo allegedly made a rapper named Shine take the fall and spend 10 years in prison for them, people started digging into her past and it raises some questions.
I don't know if he was present with that, but I know he had been hanging around with him in London, in Paris, different places.
Law enforcement sources are expecting the feds to widen the Diddy probe to include previous criminal investigations. Now, we know Diddy was criminally investigated regarding that shooting in New York, but I didn't realize the extent of J-Lo's involvement.
And I said, Puffy shot me in my face. This man testified. I testified in the criminal trial. This man testified in the criminal trial. People are like, why didn't she speak up then? Why is she saying something now? She want clout. Are you dumb?
J-Lo is just, I don't know. Every man she's been with has said the same thing, except for Diddy. Diddy's the only one that said she was a great girlfriend and how he wish he hadn't messed it up.
Well, she deserves it. She's one of the flyest out there.
Yeah, well, she thinks that of you too. She named you one of the great loves of her life.
Yeah,
was she one of yours too?
Yeah.
This is undoubtedly not J-Lo's year. She found herself caught in a divorce just when everyone believed she was living the most romantic love story ever told. Her documentary, This Is Me, now also failed to make the impact many expected. But here's where it gets more intriguing. Rumors suggest that her past with the disgraced entrepreneur Diddy might be connected to all of this. Keep watching, because by the end, we'll reveal some shocking theories that suggest Ben may have left J-Lo because of Diddy. Let's begin.
Everybody else that's left her, oh, she was too this, she was this, she was that. But Diddy said she was perfect.
The story takes us back to the time before Bennifer 1.0 or 2.0, to when it was all about J-Lo and Diddy. From 1999 to 2001, their relationship dominated the headlines. You couldn't pick up a tabloid without seeing them walking the red carpet together, dressed in designer outfits and essentially ruling New York City. But everything began to unravel after a nightclub shooting in 1999. It all started when Diddy allegedly knocked a drink out of someone's hand in a New York bar, sparking a violent altercation. Things escalated quickly and 3 people were injured, including Nada Rubin, who claimed she was struck in the face by a bullet fired by Diddy. J-Lo and Diddy fled the scene, but were soon caught. Hours after her arrest, Jennifer was released from custody. Diddy, however, was briefly detained. Despite the serious charges, both he and his bodyguard were later released, largely because Jennifer, a key witness, stated they were innocent.
Maybe she was meant for a medal.
What happens if you're only perfect for the devil?
Now that everything is coming to light, many people are beginning to believe that J-Lo may have lied to protect Diddy's reputation, and that it might have been one of the biggest mistakes of her life. But do you know who really took the fall? The name is Shine. Real name Moses Michael Barrow, a young rapper and Diddy's protege, someone most people have forgotten. Shine was also present at the club that night. He ended up serving 9 years in prison. Despite the chaos, Jennifer and Diddy continued their relationship for nearly 2 years, finally parting ways in 2001. In interviews, both spoke kindly about each other and showed no signs of animosity, even though they were involved in a serious legal case together. This led many to question the depth of their bond. Was their connection stronger than anyone knew? Now, as Diddy faces a wave of legal troubles, speculation is rising. People are beginning to speak up, questioning what really happened back then. In a recent interview, Shine, the man who spent nearly a decade behind bars, claimed that Diddy destroyed his life when he was just 18. He revealed that in the aftermath of the shooting, Diddy allegedly pressured witnesses to testify against him for something he insists he did not do.
Your car drove by, saw a female hand throwing a gun out of the
Ridiculous.
car. You're the only female in the car. You don't want to talk about
Ridiculous.
it? You very confident that Puffy will be found innocent in this trial?
Yes, I will.
You're going to testify?
If they
What's even more striking is that the victim, Nada Rubin, never changed her statement. She consistently claimed that it was Diddy who shot her, that he was the one holding the gun that night.
I was defending him, and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, and he contributed. He pretty much sent me to prison.
Jennifer Lopez might also be in serious trouble if these allegations turn out to be true. She publicly assured everyone that Diddy was not carrying a gun and that he was innocent. Now, people are questioning why she still seems so close to him, and the whole situation feels suspiciously tangled. Some believe Diddy may be holding something over her. That's why she's stayed silent. Interestingly, similar claims have been made by Suge Knight while serving time in prison. Let's now dive into one of the most talked about theories explaining why Ben Affleck may have left J.Lo. In his prison-recorded podcast, he runs from prison. Suge, a powerful figure in the rap industry, alleged that the FBI had confiscated certain tapes from Diddy's home. According to him, these tapes played a major role in the growing tension between Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. But here's where it gets wild. Suge claimed the tapes weren't just casual home videos. He suggested they contained shocking content that could expose Jennifer's involvement in the 1999 shooting case. Suge alleged the tapes showed Jennifer knew Diddy owned the gun, even though she publicly stated that it belonged to Shine, the man who spent 9 years in prison for the crime. If true, this means Jennifer may have lied under oath to protect Diddy. Suge also claimed that Ben Affleck came into possession of these tapes, possibly handed over by the FBI themselves. And that's what allegedly created a massive rift between the two. So did Ben walk away before he too got dragged into the controversy? Are the feds now eyeing J.Lo? Whether this theory is solid evidence or just another prison-born rumor, it has definitely fueled public curiosity around the real reasons behind Ben and J.Lo's sudden split. It may not even be about the tapes alone. Ben could have been triggered simply by J.Lo's ongoing association with Diddy, whether personal, professional, or PR-related. And when you combine that with J.Lo's image as a glamorous, high-maintenance star who's dated many celebrities, you get a recipe for relationship disaster. Let's now take a closer look at the personality differences between Ben and J.Lo, and how those may have played a bigger role than anyone expected.
And I said, Puffy shot me in my face. This man testified. I testified in the criminal trial. This man testified in the criminal trial. People are like, why didn't she speak up then? Why is she saying something now? She want clout. Are you dumb?
It's becoming increasingly clear that Ben was the one who chose to walk away from the relationship, not Jennifer. She was clearly still in love with him. But with the way celebrities are now scrambling to distance themselves from Diddy, it's possible that Ben simply decided to take a firm stance, cutting ties not just with Diddy, but with anything or anyone connected to him. And that may have included Jennifer.
As fate would have it, 20 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I felt inspired in the same way that I did when I did that first record. I was like, I'm going to make this as...
Fame and public attention have never truly suited Ben Affleck. He's the kind of man who only steps into the spotlight when it's absolutely necessary, usually for press tours, and otherwise prefers to live a quiet, private life. That's why so many were shocked when he rekindled his romance with Jennifer Lopez, someone who by all accounts is the complete opposite. Here's a quick recap of their love story. Ben and J.Lo began dating in 2002 after co-starring in the film Giggly. They were set to marry in 2003, but the engagement was called off, and the couple split in 2004. Years passed. Both had children and married other people, until 2021, when they reunited. In 2022, they tied the knot. But now, just 2 years later, their relationship appears to be crumbling again. And many are starting to wonder if getting back together was a mistake. Because while there may have been genuine love, their worlds are very different. Ben isn't drawn to the spotlight, but J.Lo thrives in it. She embraces celebrity culture and often seeks the attention that comes with it. For someone like Ben, who was once married to the much more private Jennifer Garner, this was likely overwhelming. One incident reportedly left him especially unsettled. During an interview, Ben learned that Jennifer had publicly shared love letters he wrote to her during their original courtship, nearly 20 years ago. To him, those letters were deeply personal. He believed they should have remained private. But Jennifer didn't see it the same way. And that disagreement may have been a turning point, a moment that revealed just how different they still were.
In my life, been through a lot of different kinds of experiences with the press, and it's not my favorite part of the job. It's not what I would choose.
Beyond their personal conflicts, it seems the controversy surrounding Diddy's tapes might have been the final breaking point in Ben and Jennifer's relationship. Looking at the timeline, some pieces start to fall into place. In late July, just weeks before their official split on August 20th, Ben Affleck purchased a new $20 million home in Los Angeles. This came only months after the FBI raided Diddy's residence in March. According to TMZ's sources, Ben moved out of their Beverly Hills house as early as late June, before Jennifer returned from a recent vacation in Europe. He reportedly informed her of his plans to buy the new home before making the purchase, and soon after, he began renting an apartment in Brentwood. It's clear that something significant happened between the FBI raid and their eventual divorce that drove them apart. Adding fuel to the fire, other well-known figures in the industry, like Jaguar Wright, have publicly stated that Jennifer should face legal consequences for her ongoing involvement with Diddy, suggesting she's more deeply entangled than she admits.
How do you accept an award for being something that you know you're not? How do you do that?
What do you think? Did Jennifer lie back in 1999? And even though more than 20 years have passed, should she still be held accountable if she did? In my opinion, J.Lo wouldn't look good in orange prison jumpsuits. And I suspect she's already trying to distance herself from Diddy by cutting any remaining ties. Diddy, on the other hand, is growing increasingly frustrated with prison life. He's now making his third attempt to get released on bail, this time appealing to a higher court after 2 previous judges rejected his appeals. Sean Combs is hoping this higher court will grant him a reprieve. His attorney, Marc Anthony, is pushing hard for the new court to overturn the earlier rulings, though that's a tall order. Unlike his usual VIP treatment, Diddy has been stuck in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, anxiously awaiting his chance to get out.
Jennifer Lopez should definitely be charged. Should I keep going?
I mean, you're hitting it off.
Both Judge Andrew Carter Jr. and U.S. Magistrate Judge Robin Tarnowski, the initial courts handling the case, previously rejected Diddy's requests for bail. He's been behind bars for about a month now, as both judges agreed with prosecutors that he should remain in custody until his trial. Last month, Diddy pleaded not guilty to a series of serious charges, including trafficking, coercion, assault of women since 2008, and racketeering conspiracy. According to the indictment, he allegedly led a corrupt network of workers who intimidated, blackmailed, and in some cases physically abused victims to keep them silent. Judges have been hesitant to release him on bond, especially considering his initial bail offer was a staggering $50 million, with strict conditions like travel restrictions, monthly drug tests, GPS monitoring, and surrendering passports, including that of his 1-year-old child. Facing these challenges, Diddy changed tactics and assembled a high-powered legal team to fight his case and secure bail. His defense team includes legal heavyweights Anthony Rico and Alexander Shapiro. Alexander, an appellate lawyer, approved Diddy's appeal of the bond denial, while Anthony is renowned for leading defenses in up to 45 federal death penalty cases. One focuses on getting Diddy out of jail, the other on ensuring that if found guilty, he doesn't receive an excessively harsh sentence. They've already filed court documents alleging that the Department of Homeland Security leaked video footage to the media. footage that shows Diddy allegedly attacking his former girlfriend Cassie in a hotel corridor back in 2016. They argue that such leaks could bias the jury and put Diddy's right to a fair trial at risk. That video has shaped much of the public's perception of Diddy and fueled criticism against him. Despite Diddy's attorneys pushing for a trial date in April or May, the judge has scheduled the trial to start on May 5th, 2025. There's no update yet on whether Diddy will be granted bail before then, but chances appear slim. The prosecutors are serious and have begun providing his defense team access to the extensive evidence against him, and it's a massive amount.
Sean Combs making a third pitch to be released on bail. This time, he's going to a higher court, hoping he'll be released on bail.
For Jenny from the block, things have gotten way too hot. Jennifer Lopez may have been more than just Diddy's ex-girlfriend. According to allegations and some damning evidence from Cassie Ventura, she might have even been his accomplice. We're talking about lies, cover-ups, and smuggling. And now J-Lo seems to be laying low since Diddy's legal troubles began. Cassie recently testified, yes in tears, that Diddy forced her to handle a loaded pistol in public and used her as a pawn in his chaotic world. But that's not the whole story. The real shocker? J-Lo might have helped Diddy pull off something similar years ago, hiding a crime that landed an innocent man in prison. Can you guess who might go down with Diddy if this all unravels? Get ready, because this story is absolutely wild. As many know, Cassie Ventura and Diddy had a long and painful history. She recently broke down while testifying that Diddy once handed her a loaded gun before they entered a club in Los Angeles. The trauma was clear in her voice and tears.
And I don't think they would do that. It's based on the evidence that he's being convicted by.
But this is where things take a darker turn. According to a complaint filed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones back in 1999, Jennifer Lopez allegedly smuggled a revolver into a New York City nightclub on Diddy's behalf. That same night, 3 people were shot, including Nada Rubin, who was struck in the face. It sounds like a ride-or-die loyalty, but it's also illegal and deadly. It's troubling how Diddy seems to keep involving the women around him as gun carriers. To be honest, J-Lo doesn't come out innocent in this story. It wasn't just bad timing or being in the wrong place. This looks like active participation.
He joins us now, sharing her story. Natanya, thank you so much for being with us. I can't imagine what you've been through since 1999 and then all the emotions that must be coming up over the last couple of days.
I can tell you that immediately, the moment she opened her mouth, you could see that Combs was listening intently to everything that she had to say, as well as those jurors.
After Jennifer Lopez was dragged into the Diddy lawsuit over allegedly being the gun mule in a 1999 nightclub shooting where Diddy and J-Lo allegedly made a rapper named Shine take the fall and spend 10 years in prison for them, people have started digging into her past and it raises some questions.
I don't know if he was present with that, but I know he had been hanging around with him in London, in Paris, different places.
Law enforcement sources are expecting the feds to widen the Diddy probe to include previous criminal investigations. Now, we know Diddy was criminally investigated regarding that shooting in New York, but I didn't realize the extent of J-Lo's.
Not to mention, J-Lo reportedly identified Shine Barrow as the gunman that night, according to testimony from Diddy's own driver. If that's true, she didn't just carry the firearm, she also allegedly helped Diddy frame Shine, who ended up serving a long prison sentence for a crime he may not have committed. For those who don't know, Shine has been outspoken for years about how Diddy set him up and was never really his friend. And here's something more. According to Gene Deal, the former head of Bad Boy Security, Diddy openly admitted that he hated Shine. So this whole framing theory isn't as far-fetched as it sounds.
She was on the stand. At times she became visibly upset, wiping away tears as she gave her...
We already know Shine was set up, but it gets even worse. Diddy allegedly hand-picked witnesses for the 1999 trial, stacking the deck against Shine. According to several insiders, J-Lo was complicit. They supposedly worked behind the scenes to bury Shine, coaching witnesses on what to say, and believe it or not, even buying off jurors.
As we talked about in the first part, there seems to be some misinformation or misunderstanding of what really went down in that trial, what was said, what people were blamed for, and what they were not. I'd love to hear your perspective and specifically kind of what you wish people understood about that trial that maybe they don't at this time.
I mean, even from the very day that the thing took place, because if you notice their mugshots, only Shine Truly has a mugshot. Puffy and J-Lo, Puffy's in front of a concrete wall, J-Lo is in front of a bulletin board in some old t-shirts. Now, I want everyone to think that was the night of the shooting. You don't think at Christmas time, Puffy and J-Lo went out in some old raggedy t-shirts, right? No, there was already a agenda afoot to conceal what they had on, to try to sway the minds of people, to throw your memory off, but they couldn't throw my memory.
Diddy and J-Lo moved on as if nothing had happened. Naturally, J-Lo was discarded by Diddy shortly after, treated like just another pawn in the game. But let's be real. They both ended up getting the independence they wanted.
Real talk, but I gotta ask you, right? I seen a trailer for a Sean documentary that you went in. How did that come about, you being in that documentary?
Well, I was there doing that whole trial with Sean and Puff. Puff said, I hate that motherfucker. Blatantly. He told me that. And that's when they was on trial with each other.
You might be wondering, why didn't J-Lo testify during all this chaos? Wasn't she there when the shooting happened? Here's something wild. J-Lo and Diddy reportedly got secretly married around the time of the 1999 shooting. According to Jaguar Wright, who's known for spilling A-list secrets, this marriage wasn't about love. It was all strategy. Because if J-Lo was legally Diddy's wife, she couldn't be forced to testify against him in court. Hollywood often uses this loophole to cover up scandals, and it worked perfectly here. Diddy kept his secrets locked down tighter than Fort Knox. J-Lo avoided the courtroom, and her hands stayed clean.
Anybody that was there, I know this young lady said Puff did the shooting. What I was told by Wolf himself, and he spoke very little about it, because he had mad love for Sean.
Although the marriage between J-Lo and Diddy hasn't been officially confirmed, Jaguar Wright insists the ceremony did happen. Reports say J-Lo even showed up at some of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. One complaint alleges a well-known female celebrity witnessed one of these parties where a 13-year-old was coerced into attending. Now, we're not saying that was J-Lo, but the streets are buzzing, and her name is starting to pop up in court documents, lawsuits, and old witness statements. But here's the disturbing part. That 13-year-old wasn't the only victim. Another woman, Misha, came forward with an equally chilling story. Misha claims J-Lo wasn't just present. She was right in the spotlight while Diddy allegedly subjected her to horrific experiences at one of those notorious parties. According to Misha, she looked directly at J-Lo during the trauma, silently begging for help. And what did she get in response? Nothing. Just a cold, blank stare.
I don't know if he was present with that, but I know he had been hanging around with him in London, in Paris.
If J-Lo really watched all that happen and did nothing, she definitely has a lot of explaining to do. Just when you think it couldn't get any messier, buckle up, because this isn't the first time she's been linked to these dark and perverse circles. Years ago, her ex-husband, Ojani Noah, spilled some serious tea. Ojani claimed that J-Lo wasn't just a casual attendee, she was deeply involved. He even said she should be questioned about the alleged sex tapes connected to Diddy and his inner circle. Yes, those infamous tapes, the ones that come up whenever covert cameras and baby oil are mentioned. Ojani didn't hold back, insisting that J-Lo's public persona is worlds apart from who she really is behind closed doors. According to him, she knew exactly what went on at those gatherings and didn't seem to care. Sure, exes sometimes speak recklessly, but let's be honest, this isn't your typical bitter ex trying to tarnish someone's name over infidelity. When you connect Ojani's allegations, Misha's harrowing account, Cassie's emotional testimony, and the growing number of lawsuits, it's starting to look like J-Lo is no innocent bystander. To add more fuel to the fire, 2 law enforcement sources told the New York Post in 2024 that the 1999 nightclub shooting case might be reopened. If that happens and J-Lo's name surfaces, she could face a trial herself. Social media isn't surprised. One user summed it up best: Jennifer Lopez was carrying it for him. Despite being a talented singer, she never quite matched the level of fame her talent deserved. Now the real reason behind her rise might finally be coming to light. And here's where it gets even messier. Sui revealed in an interview that the breakdown of J-Lo and Ben Affleck's marriage wasn't just about distance or disagreements. He claims that at one of those freak-off parties, the feds played Ben a tape of J-Lo and Diddy. Imagine Ben sitting down to review evidence, only to find out that the woman he recently rekindled romance with was allegedly attending Diddy's dark private parties. Reports say Ben couldn't look at her the same way after that. Honestly, can you blame him?
Sean caused a lot of that stuff himself. And Puff said, I hate that motherfucker. Blatant. He told me that. And that's when they was on trial with each other.
Wow, you never told me about that, man. You seen how Flex, he came out calling Sean a liar?
Well, I think Funkmaster Flex has every right to say what he said because he know a little bit more than most.
This isn't some tabloid rumor from a decade ago. The timeline tells a darker story. Things between J-Lo and Ben Affleck sharply deteriorated right after the federal government raided Diddy's properties. Suddenly, they stopped appearing together in public. Jennifer resumed walking red carpets solo, and the body language spoke volumes. Now, they're no longer married. Despite J-Lo's years of quiet elegance in the media spotlight, court records reveal a very different reality. This isn't a romantic comedy. If these allegations are even remotely true, this is turning into serious criminal drama. Given everything Cassie Ventura has been exposing about Diddy, it's no surprise J-Lo has seemingly vanished from view. Where exactly is she hiding during all this? Cassie's testimony might provide some answers. Day by day, the picture grows darker. Cassie claims Diddy wanted to control every aspect of her life, paying for her phone, her house, her cars, and threatened to take it all away as punishment. Control wasn't just about possessions. It extended to what she worked on and how she looked. But that control soon spiraled into outright violence. In court, Cassie broke down, sobbing as she described being kicked, dragged, knocked over, and repeatedly hit on the head. She showed bruises, black eyes, swollen lips, knots on her forehead. What started as unsettling soon turned terrifying. The prosecutors revealed even darker details about Diddy's so-called freak-off parties. According to Cassie, during the first year of their relationship, Diddy introduced her to these disturbing gatherings. Allegedly, he hired strippers and male escorts to have sex with her while he watched. And these weren't isolated incidents. Some lasted up to 4 days.
He did what he did to me. And then when it was time for Jennifer Lopez, she was there with a guy and he was standing there looking disgusted, but didn't nobody save me. She stuck that glass in me, and after that, my eyes were booked the whole time.
Cassie admitted that although she initially went along with it to please Diddy, the experience ultimately left her feeling ashamed. I felt fairly bad about myself, she broke down on the stand. I felt useless as a result. She revealed that she turned to a range of drugs, including ketamine, ecstasy, and marijuana, to help numb herself and get through those traumatic events. The substances helped her mentally disconnect from the reality of what was happening. It was like I wasn't really present, she said. Cassie described how Diddy would instruct her to find men, escorts, strippers, dancers, to bring to these gatherings. These individuals were paid handsomely, between $1,500 and $6,000 based on their performance. According to Cassie, they were often found through Craigslist ads or through contacts at stripping businesses. Some of these men, including Daniel Phillip, even testified in court and were identified by jurors through photos presented during the trial.
Said that Sean Combs directed everything from what she had on to the lighting in the room to how she was supposed to interact with the person that she was having sex with. And again, just to reiterate what is a freak-off, the freak-off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, wanting to watch her have sex with someone else. And she said that she did it because she was 22, 21. She was young. She didn't know any better, and that she wanted to please Sean Combs.
And at some point in time, she actually had said that she looked forward to the freak-offs. Why did Cassie express looking forward to the said freak-off?
When the prosecution asked her, was there ever a time that you enjoyed the freak-offs? This is when Cassie got choked up and she said, I did, but only because I got to spend one-on-one time with Combs.
And this is where Jennifer Lopez comes back into the picture. You really can't say she was unaware of the pattern here. She dated Diddy first. She was there when he was at his most chaotic. So, this darker side of him? She had seen it before. Rumor has it, J-Lo is terrified of being called to the stand. She's allegedly been dodging that subpoena like the plague. Some even say she fled to a country with no extradition treaty, just in case things blow up and she gets dragged into this mess. Because let's be real, it's looking more and more like Diddy is going down. And J-Lo might not be far behind if the feds start digging through records and witness statements. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Jennifer Lopez will be the next big name caught up in this scandal? Was she secretly helping him all along, or is she just an innocent caught in the crossfire? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. It's too juicy to hold back. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and smash the like so you don't miss the next update. Because honestly, no one knows who's going down next in this wild Diddy trial.